Hey everyone, it's Mr. Hollywood, and today I'm doing my updated Star Wars ranking with the release of The Mandalorian and Grogu. I have had some reevaluating on my list over the years, so I'm very excited to share my updated list. Plus, I'm ranking these movies again, along with the Top Gun movies, the Mission Impossible movies, the Godfather trilogy, the Knives Out trilogy, and the Lord of the Rings trilogy on Sunday for my 31 on 31. It should be an absolute fun video. And also, you might notice there's a lot of stuff missing on my shelf. That's because I'm actually renovating 6 days from now. So, yep, soon you're going to see a completely different new location. Probably for the rest of my 200-day posting streak. Oh yeah, definitely for my rest of the day of my 200-day posting streak goal. So yes, this is day 36. Star Wars movies ranked. And I just want to give a full disclaimer. And before I rank, I just want to be very clear. I don't dislike any of these Star Wars movies. I like them all to certain degrees. I mean, I don't love all of them, but I like them all. I have rewatched most of them regularly. So it's like, yes, I still have fondness, even for the ones low on my list. But let's get started. And starting in at number 12, for me, is going to be Solo. I don't hate this movie. I think it's a fun movie. I mean, there is a lot to enjoy about Solo. Like, it's not a terrible movie. I mean, I thought Alden, he did alright as Han Solo. I mean, he was never going to replicate Harrison Ford, but he did alright. Donald Glover as Lando I did really like. And, I mean, the Castle Run sequence is cool. Seeing Darth Maul was cool. I still have not seen Darth Maul Shadow Lord, which I heard was amazing. During the summer, when I move into my new renovated house, I'm definitely going to binge watch some Star Wars TV. But yeah, I mean, Solo was fun. It was decent. I didn't like the villain. I didn't like the robot. And I didn't really like how Han got his name. But overall, it was decent. It's really the only Star Wars movie that didn't really leave much of an impact. Well, outside of one other, but we'll get to it. But yes, anyway, Solo is my least favorite. Now, coming in at number 11 is Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. This is my least favorite of the Skywalker saga. Now, there is a lot to like about Attack of the Clones. I thought the action was really good. I mean, the Battle of Geonosis was really cool. The stuff with Obi-Wan on Kamino was cool. However, what really bogs this movie down, though, to my number 11 is, first off, the Anakin-Padme romance is just awful. There's really no other way to say it. It's not good romance at all. They do not have absolutely any chemistry. And another big problem is our main villain doesn't really show up until over an hour in this film, and he doesn't really pose an imminent threat till he captures Obi-Wan. So I feel like for the middle hour of the film, there doesn't feel like there's this sense of urgency and forward momentum. And while I think some of the action sequences are really cool, the movie overall, while I enjoy it at times, I think it's decent, it's not a great movie. Now, coming in at number 10 is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace, I do sometimes tend to put this a little bit higher, and sometimes on some days I put it below Attack of the Clones, but overall I do like it more than Attack of the Clones for now. And, Qui-Gon Jinn is one of my favorite Jedis, and Darth Maul was cool. The duel at the end was amazing. Duel of the Fates. And that piece is one of my favorite Star Wars soundtrack pieces. And I do think this movie has very good world building. I do think even if the movie doesn't quite reach its ambitions, I do think the world building is really good. And I thought the pod racing stuff was sick. However, what really still bogs this movie down to number 10 is first off Jar Jar Binks, which it's like, yeah, no. Come on. Jar Jar, terrible character. And also, the stuff on Coruscant really bogs the movie down. The politics in this movie I found to be really boring. So it's like, I do actually tend to have a little more respect for the plot, but it still wasn't conveyed very well. So it's like, while I do like a lot about Phantom Menace, it is still one of my least favorites overall. I do still have this Phantom Menace popcorn bucket, though, that I got during the 25th anniversary. So that was pretty cool. Anyways, coming in at number 9 is going to be the newly released Mandalorian and Grogu movie. I do have my baby Yoda right here, though. But yes, Mandalorian and Grogu. I've only seen it once. I'm seeing it again tomorrow. My initial thoughts. I enjoyed this movie a lot. I thought it was really entertaining. And it doesn't really have any of the lows. It also doesn't really have any of the highs of the franchise either. So, like, this is the only Star Wars movie, realistically, outside of Solo. It didn't leave much of an impact. I liked it. I'm very happy I got to see it. And I was not angry walking out. I mean, there was a lot to like. I thought the chemistry between Mandalorian and Grogu was cute. I liked Babu Frick a lot. I liked Sigourney Weaver a lot in this. I liked Rada the Hutt, played by Jeremy Allen White, who's a great actor. I loved him a lot in The Iron Claw as well. And the action was great. The music was good. There just isn't much of a story. I mean, one of my main problems is that it does feel like 3 or 4 episodes of a show into a movie, so it doesn't feel structured properly. Now, these are not bad episodes of the show, but they wouldn't necessarily be the best episode of the show either. So yes, Mandalorian and Grogu movie, I wasn't disappointed. Like, I liked it. I enjoyed it, which is kind of what I expected to say. Like, I expected to have a good time. I didn't expect this to be anything deep, and it wasn't, but, I mean, it was a good movie. I would recommend it, but overall, stacked up against the other movies, I mean, as much as I love Grogu, no, I mean, this would be pretty low on my list still. So yeah, overall, it will be number 9 on this list. Now, coming in number 8 is a movie that I have grown on a bit over the years, but I still don't love, Rogue One. Rogue One is one of the best looking Star Wars movies. Just in terms of the way it's shot and the way it's looked, it's up there for sure. I also think the final battle, the Battle of Scarif, was incredible. And the Vader sequence at the end was amazing. The thing is, even though the final battle was amazing, one of the 3 best final battles probably in the saga, well, it wouldn't be in the Skywalker saga, but one of the 3 best final battles in all of Star Wars. The first 2/3 aren't very entertaining, if you ask me. I also need to finish Andor season 1 and 2. I've started season 1, I just never finished it, and I need to watch season 2. So maybe once I finish Andor, maybe I'll have a new appreciation for Rogue One. But as of just a theatrical experience, it was good. I've definitely grown on this over the years. I do appreciate how none of the lead characters survive at the end, and I thought that was definitely a very bold choice. But this was like the first 2/3 do feel like a bit of a grind to get through. And so it's like, while it actually has moments that are among the best in the franchise, I also just think it's one of the least entertaining Star Wars movies. It's one of the ones I'm least likely to rewatch. So ones lower on this list are probably ones I'm more likely to rewatch. But like, I can acknowledge that like cinematography, acting, and some of the other stuff are better than the others. So yeah, like Rogue One is a good movie. I like Rogue One. It's not a great movie, and it's definitely not one of my favorites. So it is right here at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is one that's probably going to get me a bit of trouble in the comments. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. I want to make it very clear, I love Revenge of the Sith. I do think it is a great movie. I still do not think this is one of the 3 best Star Wars movies. It's not even in my top 5. I do think this is definitely the best of the prequels. And I do think there are a lot of stuff in this that is great. I thought the Order 66 stuff was amazing. I thought the final duel with Anakin and Obi-Wan was great. I thought the music was great. I thought the acting was good. It's definitely way better than the acting in its predecessors. And I thought the story was really good. However, I still have 3 main problems that, I can't put it any higher than this. And my 3 main problems. First off, it still has some of the bad dialogue as the first 2. I even think in retrospect, I think Phantom Menace might have slightly better dialogue than this, but Revenge of the Sith definitely has better acting, and it's still better than Phantom Menace in pretty much almost every other aspect. That's one thing. It's kind of a minor problem, but still a problem nonetheless. Another thing, Padme's death was absolutely terrible. It is one of my least favorite scenes in Star Wars. It was actually pretty awful, if you ask me. I mean, she lost her will to live. No, that didn't work for me. And also, Anakin's turn within the context of the trilogy in this movie was rushed. I understand why he would turn to the dark side. And I understand why he was afraid that Padme was going to die. It just doesn't make sense for me how in the span of 10 minutes, he's going to go from, I'm going to talk to Windu to snitch on Palpatine to, I'm going to kill younglings. So it's like, while Order 66 is a great scene, while the second half, I mean, like, once I can get past it, the second half is really entertaining. I still don't think it was executed all that well. Now, I do partially think it's because I don't feel like they gradually built up all that well within the first two. So this movie does really 99% of the development. It's like, realistically, I think this could have just been a 3-hour story. But yes, they made it a trilogy. And while this wasn't a bad trilogy, like, I liked these movies, and I do think this was a great movie. It's like Revenge of the Sith has highlight moments for sure. It just has stuff that is inexcusable. That's like, look, it's a great movie. I really like it. I can't put it higher than 7. So yeah, that is why Revenge of the Sith is number 7. Minute number 6 is going to be The Force Awakens. And here is my BB-8. I've probably had this for, probably 10 to 11 years now. So yeah. Anyways, Star Wars Episode 7, Force Awakens. It's my 6th favorite. The Force Awakens is always going to be special to me because it's the first Star Wars movie I saw in theaters. I saw this 3 times in theaters. It was the first movie I've seen 3 times in theaters. The only other movies I actually saw 3 times in theaters were Avengers Endgame and One Battle After Another. So yes, like The Force Awakens, I have a lot of nostalgia and fond memories of this movie. And I think I still really like it over 10 years later. I know that if you're not as big of a fan of the next 2, of course, you're naturally probably not going to like this one as much. But as we'll see, I haven't even talked about those 2 yet. So yeah, The Force Awakens. I really liked The Force Awakens. And I do think Revenge of the Sith has higher highs than The Force Awakens, but definitely lower lows. Like, Force Awakens is just consistently really good, really entertaining. I loved the character introductions in this film. I mean, I thought Kylo Ren was a great addition to the franchise. He's one of my favorites for sure. I really liked seeing Rey's journey in this, and realistically, like, the first third, like, with like Rey's introduction, the battle of Jakku at the beginning, and really seeing Poe and Finn's dynamic, it was just all, it really just brought back the vibes that I think made the original Star Wars movies really great. I just loved seeing I just thought it was so entertaining, and I just think, I mean, the chemistry between Poe and Finn was really good. Now, I don't hate what they did with Finn later in the trilogy, but this is definitely my favorite. This is definitely the best of Finn in the trilogy. Now, Poe is actually a character I liked more as the trilogy went on. And, I mean, obviously, I really like seeing Han Solo again. I do think his death scene was great for Kylo Ren's character. And, I mean, I thought it ended on a great cliffhanger, seeing Luke. Now, look, does it play it safe? Sure. Does it copy a lot from A New Hope? Sure. I mean, it doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, it's still very entertaining, and while I do think there are definitely some similarities to A New Hope, I do think the similarities to A New Hope have always been a bit blown up in this film. Like, even though it's, you could say, like, a bit of a rehash of A New Hope, I mean, I still think it was a really nice, soft reboot. And I do think this was definitely something that was long dormant. So yes, The Force Awakens. I don't think it has the lowest of lows. Like, there's really nothing in this movie I think is outright egregious. And there's nothing in this film that would, like, be in, like, my top 5 to 10 scenes of a saga. But overall, I do love The Force Awakens. I have continued to love it over the years. And even though it's right outside my top 5, it is still my number 6 favorite Star Wars movie. Now, coming in at number 5 is Return of the Jedi. This is my least favorite of the original trilogy. It is still an amazing movie. I still love a lot about Return of the Jedi. However, this is always one that's, for me, a little tricky to place. Because on some days, I might place this number 6-ish. Like, you'll never be below 6. Like, my top 6, I don't see any movie mingling in my top 6. And on some days, this might even be higher. This might be in my top 3. But right now, it's my number 5. It is my least favorite of the original trilogy. I still love a lot about this movie. I mean, the stuff with Luke, Vader, and the Emperor was all amazing. I mean, the final 45 minutes was absolute peak. And, look, the stuff with Jabba's palace was good. And it was really entertaining. But that's part of the thing. It does feel like it is a bit of a different movie. In the middle, with the Ewoks, it's like, I'm not all that big of a fan of the Ewoks over the years. I used to like them more when I was younger. As I got older, it's like, I don't really like them as much. So yeah, it's like, Return of the Jedi, it's like, it definitely has some pacing issues, in my opinion. But the first third is great. Even Luke going back to Yoda was great, and Yoda's death was all great. And the final third with Luke, Vader, and the Emperor was just all amazing. And Final Space Battle was great. And, I mean, Vader's redemption, Vader's death, I mean, that gives me goosebumps every time. And I do think it was a good, happy ending, and it was a nice bow on the original trilogy. Now, coming in at number 4 is going to be Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. A New Hope is a movie that I've also grown to appreciate a bit. Like, a few years ago, this would have probably been a few spots lower. But it's like, I do like it more than Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. And, I mean, A New Hope, I mean, it's really the movie that changed cinema forever. And, I mean, A New Hope is just a great hero's journey. And, I mean, I just loved getting introduced to all these characters for the first time. And also, I mean, along with just getting introduced to these characters for the first time, it really just invented Blockbuster. Now, you could actually also argue Jaws did, and I think you wouldn't be wrong. I mean, it's like, either of these movies could have really been the one that invented the term blockbuster. And just the final trench run is still my favorite space battle in all of Star Wars. And, I mean, this movie is just really well-paced. It's like, sure, some of the acting could definitely be a bit off, and there definitely are stuff that you could argue didn't age the best. Like, I mean, the Obi-Wan versus Vader duel, I don't think it's all that, realistically. But I'm sure it was great for its time. But it's like, I don't know, this does in some ways feel harder to judge against, like, modern Star Wars and even against the rest of the trilogy. Because it kind of just feels like an outlier, which in a lot of ways you could argue it is. I mean, it definitely could have easily been standalone and it would have still been satisfying. But overall, A New Hope, it's a great hero's journey. I also, I mean, loved Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan in this. And really just the introduction to Luke, Vader, Han Solo, Leia, Chewbacca. I mean, it was all great. A New Hope's a great movie. It is my 4th favorite Star Wars movie. But there are still 3 I like more. And coming in at number 3 is Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Yes, The Last Jedi is probably the most controversial Star Wars movie to date. Because some people will put it very high and some people will put it very low. And I've seen very few where it's been anywhere in between. As for me personally, I absolutely love this film. And I love that Rian Johnson came in and didn't just do the old predictable. He actually went for it. And that's why I respect Rian Johnson a lot. Rian Johnson is someone that will take a twist and challenge our audience's expectations. Look, what they did with Luke, I thought was absolutely brave. And they didn't just do the predictable thing where he's just all so powerful because he's Luke Skywalker. I absolutely love that they gave him a lot more depth. And I think they made Luke far more three-dimensional than I ever thought they could. And I absolutely love Luke's journey in this. And I love by the end how he sacrifices himself and saves the Resistance while hurting nobody. that was a perfect way for his character to go out. And I loved seeing Yoda's Force Ghost in this. I thought that was great. And also, the Rey and Kylo dynamic was absolutely beautiful. I do think the visuals in this are just absolutely stunning. And, I mean, the directing is, in my opinion, the best directing in all of the franchise. And the acting, in my opinion, is the best acting in the franchise. Also, Carrie Fisher, her performance in this was absolutely heartbreaking. But, yeah, she did a great job as Leia. Now, of course, Canto Bight still isn't very good. It's like, that's really the only thing potentially holding this back from being number 2 and maybe even number 1. And I could have arguably put this at 2, but I did decide I'd put it at 3. But even though the Canto Bight wasn't that good, for me it doesn't really take away from the fact that this movie is easily the boldest Star Wars movie. And it did stuff that I think was way more than just nostalgia, and I appreciate a lot of the stuff that this film was brave enough to do. So, yeah, The Last Jedi is a movie I've grown to appreciate so much over the years, and it is my 3rd favorite Star Wars movie. I love this movie, and I'll always cherish that. This movie was not some predictable good versus evil. I love how they explored more of the gray side. So, yeah, Last Jedi is my 3rd favorite Star Wars movie. Now, coming in at number 2 is The Rise of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker, I know a lot of people are probably going to put this towards the bottom or at the bottom. And, I mean, I've definitely seen a lot of rankings where this is dead last. And when I first saw this, I was thinking, how could anyone put this last? Okay, over the years, I definitely do see areas where people wouldn't like this. And I understand if people felt like it was pandering for people who didn't like The Last Jedi. And I get it. However, for me personally, when I watch The Rise of Skywalker, it gives me a lot of joy. And I felt satisfaction. And I'm not going to even hide the fact that I do unapologetically love this movie. I mean, loved the Kylo Ren and Rey dynamic in this. I mean, maybe not quite as much as I did in The Last Jedi, but I still loved it in this. And I know this is going to get me in trouble. I do not mind Palpatine's return. I actually think it was really... I actually think one thing about Palpatine's return in this is it really does pay off his Darth Plagueis line from Revenge of the Sith, which I actually think is great. And if anyone was to come back, it would be him, as he knows how to cheat death and everything. And Palpatine, by the way, is also just my favorite character, so I'm really not going to complain about Palpatine coming back. So, yeah. I mean, Palpatine's return really didn't bother me. And, I mean, I thought the emotion just really worked. And I also give this movie a lot of credit, given the fact that, I mean, yes, not only did it have to end the whole Skywalker saga, it also... And I don't feel like this gets talked about enough. It had to deal with the fact that Carrie Fisher died before they even started filming. And honestly, I think this movie did a good job in honoring Carrie Fisher. And I do really respect. And Kylo Ren's redemption I thought was beautiful. I thought the Han Solo scene with Kylo Ren and Han Solo, I mean, it was great. And even if I understand why people would have rather Rey stayed a nobody, I mean, I don't mind her being a Palpatine, and I still think it has a good message of some things are stronger than blood. So, yes, Rise of Skywalker, for me, it did hit those emotional beats for me. I did really like the final battle, and overall, it brought me a lot of happiness and satisfaction. So, yes, Rise of Skywalker, while I understand why some people might not like this film, this movie, for me, this movie is a movie that made me satisfied. It made me happy. It entertained me. It's like, I don't think this is a perfect movie. It's definitely very fast-paced at times. So I can understand if people felt like this was rushed. But overall, simple enough. I love this movie. And it is my second favorite Star Wars movie. But coming in at number 1 for me is Empire Strikes Back. I mean, over time, it's like, I'm at the age where it's like, I mean, as much as I'm a defender of the last 2 Star Wars movies of the Skywalker saga, it's like, yeah, no. Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars movie. It's just pretty spectacular. I mean, it takes just everything great about New Hope and just elevates them. I've thought, I mean, Luke's arc in this was great. The training stuff with Yoda was great. The introduction of Lando was great. Vader was just at his absolute best in this. And I just love the Han and Leia romance. The music, I mean, you could say this about all of them, but the music, especially in this, I think is the best Star Wars score and potentially best movie score of all time. The music in this was just absolutely phenomenal. And, I mean, I just can't talk about this without talking about the final confrontation between Luke and Vader being Luke's father, which, I mean, it's just, that scene just hits home every time. I mean, yeah, this movie is phenomenal. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's one of the all-time great sequels. And overall, it's just a spectacular piece of film. And for me, it is my number 1 Star Wars movie. Now, thanks for watching. Feel free to share your ranking of these movies down below in the comments. And I cannot wait to post more videos. And, well, you're not going to see this cabinet much longer because I am renovating soon. Now, thanks for watching. And may the Force be with you. Peace out.